Hi, and welcome to video number 2. In this video, we're going to talk about a really super simple strategy for choosing one job title. Now, most of the time when I'm working with people and I'm really pressing them to come up with a job title, they say things like, "But Lisa, I don't want to miss out on an opportunity by focusing on it too much." And I'm just like, "But girl, did you just hear what you said, right?" So the problem with that I'm seeing in terms of trying to help people focus on that one job title is that many of you have the desire to just make your first choice like the perfect choice where you could just kind of settle into your job, do your job and retire there and just live happily ever after. The problem is that is not how any job works. Like, just think about it. When you were starting your career as a teacher, did you ever think, or did you even see yourself like moving out of teaching into something else? Probably not. So what I want to share with you today is just a little wisdom around the skills that are really important for you to develop and to focus on is the ability to be able to job search effectively, strategically, and competitively, because especially in the corporate world, it is not unusual to change jobs every 2 to 3 years. Now, God willing, you're going to be able to stay wherever you are for as long as you want to be there, but I need to make sure that you have the skills that you need to be successful should you decide that you want to leave. We're starting at step 1 here by just choosing the job title as a way of, getting you moving in the right direction. As you, get more tenure in the corporate world, how you do this going forward may change. But again, this is just a super simple 6-step process to get you started in the right direction. And I also want to say, before I get into the 6 steps, of course, is from the recruiter's perspective, one of the things that they are looking for is continuity. So if they look at your resume or your LinkedIn profile and they've got to like try to figure out, what type of job are you looking for? Yeah, so they're not going to do it because they don't have the time. They don't have the interest. Like, if you don't care enough to focus and tailor your job search message on, your resume and on your LinkedIn profile and in your conversation on a particular job title, then, why should they, right? They're just going to move on to somebody who has made it crystal clear and super easy for them to see, that recruiter to see that they are ready to interview and take on that next position. So with that said, I'm going to stop preaching because I do feel some kind of way about that. And I'm just going to give you the 6 like super easy steps. So the first thing that you need, if you don't have it, is some snacks and your drink, whether that's coffee, tea, water, vitamin water, I don't know, but this next process is going to take a little time, so you might want to have like your grapes and your crackers and your cheese and your drink ready to go, because this is not something you're going to be able to get done like immediately, right? This actually might take you a couple of days. All right, so with that said, let's launch into the first of the 6 steps. So if you were trying to figure out, like, Lisa, which job title do I look at? Like, there are a million jobs that you can do in the corporate world. You're absolutely right. But let's narrow that million down to just like the top 10 or so, right? So the first way that you can do that is you can Google it. Yeah, I said it. You can just Google it, right? So you can Google, something like, the top jobs for teachers transitioning, and you're going to see lists and websites and podcasts pop up all over the place, right? So that's one way to get started. I also have done a little of the legwork for you. So if you don't want to do, the Google list and kind of, wade through that yourself, I've chosen the top 10 jobs that I typically am helping teachers to transition into and that I've seen them be successful in. So if you want to just use my list, just look below. I've listed it. I've listed the top 10 positions that I think are a great start. But if that doesn't float your boat, like I said, Google it. Now, can you take assessments and exams and, work with people to figure out how you feel about each position? You absolutely can. And if that is your jam, that's what you need to do. But if you're just ready to get started and get moving, Google it or use my list. And step number 2 is to, as you have completed your list of job titles that you might be interested in, or you've chosen from my list, then I want you to take from that larger list and I want you to narrow that down. Let's just start with 5. Let's start with a minimum of 5 job titles that you might be just, kind of interested in finding a little bit more about. You don't have to know anything about them. You are just going on the job title. You're kind of feeling it or you're not. So choose a minimum of 5 job titles that you want to explore and just stick with those. Step number 3, I want you to go to your favorite job board. As many of you know, I'm a LinkedIn girl all day, every day. I also like Indeed.com, but go to those job boards, and what I want you to do, and this is the important part, this is the part where you're going to need your snacks and you're going to need your drinks, right? I want you to look up 8 to 10 job descriptions for each job. Let me say that one more time, right? I want you to look up 8 to 10 job descriptions for each job title that's on the list that you curated for yourself, right? Now, the reason why I want you to do that is because I want you to start to get an understanding of what the job requires and potentially the type of fields where you can work in that position. So let me give you an example of what I mean. In the corporate world, I'm a corporate trainer. I've been a corporate trainer for a very long time. But the interesting thing is that as a corporate trainer, I started corporate training in career services, teaching people how to interview, put their resume together, how to connect with employers. As a corporate trainer, I taught people to do that for a nonprofit. From there, I went to work for an ed tech company and I taught teachers how to build assessments. And then from there, I went into retail. So you can see that as a corporate trainer who did pretty much the exact same thing for every single job, I did them in different fields career services, retail, ed tech. I've been all over. The other thing that is interesting is that depending on the job that you are looking at, you may find that you can do that job 100% remote or 100%, when I say remote, I mean work from home. Or you can find that, there are jobs out there where you can travel if you want to do that 100% of the time. So the 8 to 10 job descriptions is about the discovery process, just helping you to start getting a picture of, what you might be interested in doing and then what field, might be a good match for you, right? The 4th step is I want you to start asking yourself some questions around each of those job titles as you're looking up the job descriptions. So the first question that you might want to ask yourself is, do the requirements of this job interest me at all, right? I've met some teachers and I just assume that all teachers love to teach and everybody wants to be a corporate trainer, right? Yeah, what I discovered pretty quickly is that there are some teachers out there who never want to teach ever again. Not one thing, not ever. They don't want to teach. They don't want to tutor. They don't want to coach. They are over it, right? So ask yourself, are the requirements of this job interesting to me? And then the second question that you want to ask yourself is you're considering, which direction to head in, is do I have or can I easily attain the qualifications to do this job? So if you're going into corporate training, pretty much a no-brainer. Not, it's not too difficult unless you're doing some kind of highly specialized training. If you want to be a nurse, yeah, so that is not an easy transition. That's some years of training that you're going to need to get under your belt. So you need to kind of figure out where you stand on that spectrum as a way of making a decision about whether that should be your next step, or maybe this job is something you're interested in, but because of the level of training required, maybe that's going to be your second job or your third job in the corporate world as you start, gathering the qualifications and skills that you need. The fifth step that I want you to do is, to the best of your ability, research the pay ranges, right? And sometimes those pay ranges, thank you, LinkedIn, are included right on the job description. And then sometimes you got to do a little research. So I like Glassdoor. You can go to glassdoor.com. I'm going to put the link below. And you can literally type in the job title, where you live. And I found that they give a pretty accurate, kind of range of, low, medium, and high salary ranges for where you live. Because you want to make sure that you don't spend 3 months focused and dialed in on, getting into, customer service, and then finding out that a customer service agent makes around 35 to 45 a year, but a customer success manager, you know what I mean? Like, you want to just make sure that you can afford to live off of the job that you would like to apply for. And then the last thing that I want you to do is I want you to take a big breath, just take a deep breath in and just let it out. And then I want you to choose one job title, aka core set of skills, y'all, that you feel like you're most interested and qualified to do, and that meets your pay range. And just know that going into this, that over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be teaching you some basic job search skills that are going to help you build strategies, your ability to compete, that are going to help you for the rest of your life. So if you choose a job, you get into it, you find that you don't like it, you are already going to have the basic skills you need to just get right back out there and look for your next job. So don't panic. I got you, but you kind of got to get through this. So take a day, take 2 days, heck, take 3 days, and just really kind of use this very simple process to narrow down your specific job title, because from this, everything is going to flow. Like your focus, your ability to communicate, how you set up your messaging, it is all going to flow from this job title. So with that said, go ahead. I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.